What happens when you switch from a paleo to a vegan diet? This time last year, I was following a strict paleo diet. I was convinced by books like How We Get Fat, Wheat Belly, and Grain Brain that sugar, in most of its forms, should be avoided. I was eating 3 eggs every morning and fish almost every day. I avoided flour, rice, potatoes, and sugary foods. All to pretty good effect. I achieved paleo nirvana. Ketosis. That's when the body runs on energy stored in fat, triglycerides, instead of energy from the sugar that we eat. And that leads to fast weight loss. You are allowed to eat some fish, meat, eggs, nuts, definitely eat fruits and lots of vegetables. While I was meditating in January of last year, I was hit with a sudden, powerful feeling that I shouldn't be eating any meat at all. I didn't like the meat industry. I didn't want to be part of the overfishing problem. I didn't want to eat dead animals at every meal, and I didn't want to get sick like almost all of my meat-loving relatives. So at my next meal, I just ate plants, and I've kept it up ever since then. So some bad things happened. I lost weight. I'm a tiny person to begin with, so losing weight is actually traumatic. But there I was, back to my freshman year college weight. I confused a lot of people because I had been advocating paleo through my website, power20method.com, and now I was switching. So people who had lost weight effectively and happily using paleo were now upset. I got into arguments. My parents thought I was being extreme. My wife, who's a foodie, she loves lamb. She really didn't like this new turn. But some good things happened too. First, my allergies disappeared. I generally couldn't wear my contact lenses because my eyes itch so much. But over the past year, I had no problem. It's not surprising, dairy causes an autoimmune response, so it's a driver for many allergies. So despite losing some weight, I haven't lost any strength or energy. 3 months after going vegan, I tested my strength and I did 35 consecutive pull-ups. I tested again 6 months out, and then 12 months out, I am as strong as ever, maybe even stronger. One of the world's strongest men is actually a vegan. So I stopped doing so much cardio. Vegans actually have fewer cardiometabolic risk factors than even marathoners who run 40 miles a week. My bursitis disappeared. I had a visible, painful inflammation on a finger joint, and that lasted about 3 years, but it disappeared after a month of just eating plants. That's not surprising either because bursitis and rheumatoid arthritis are thought to improve on a whole food plant-based diet. So finally, all my dishes are easier to clean. Since I'm eating whole food plant-based food, I'm basically washing, cutting, steaming, and seasoning food. Dish cleaning is simple. There's no grease, no blood, no guts, and no nasty bacteria to worry about. The upshot, I'm not going back. I look and feel the same, except I no longer feel the kind of queasy ethical issues that come from eating meat. So, why should I go back? Not everybody can go vegan. To go vegan, you must be psychologically ready, socially supported, and practically prepared. I've been psychologically ready for a long time, and I suspect that most people are too. Nobody really likes the cruel meat industry. I had gone 14 years as a pescatarian, so I had shed my meat addiction a long time ago. My wife and my extended family don't love the decision, but they also don't actively undermine it either. So that is enough of a social support to sustain me. The last step, probably the biggest one, is practical. I had to learn how to eat healthy and rely on no one else, including restaurants, for my meals. I looked at sites like Forks Over Knives, nutritionfacts.org, and a whole bunch of food blogs. Some people think paleo is sustainable. Paleo involves eating very little meat and limiting that meat to sustainable grass-fed organic sources. Fine. But only 3% of all the beef in America is grass-fed, and less than 1% of chicken is free range. Good meat is hard to find. People who want to eat sustainably are too often forced to compromise. Think about it. You compromise when you are at your friends' houses, while you're traveling, when you're at restaurants. It's just hard to tell people that you're not going to eat their chicken because you don't think it's sustainably sourced. Even the most careful eater will have trouble knowing the source of their fish. The fishing industry is notoriously opaque about the true source of fish and the methods of capture. So they even lie about the kind of fish being served. In the United States, 59% of the tuna isn't even tuna. So a lot of people ask me, but where do you get your protein? It's a myth that people don't get enough protein. Actually, what people need to worry about is getting enough fiber. 85% of Americans do not get enough fiber, and that causes all sorts of terrible problems, not least of which is diverticulosis and diverticulitis. Over 50% of Americans over age 65 have diverticulosis. I was never a huge hulking giant. Going vegan definitely didn't change that. I did lose some weight. I didn't lose any muscle. I lost a little bit of fat, and no matter how much I eat as a vegan, I just can't seem to put any of it back on, which is, for most people, a good problem to have. Thanks for checking out my video, and hopefully I'll be posting more about life as a vegan. Post any comments and questions down below, and I'll try to get back to you guys. Thanks, bye.